All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to Module 8. So today we're going to go ahead and focus specifically on our state-specific section of the exam. So for all of the states, there's a state-specific section, and you can find this on your content outline guide. You can find this in your Excel course as well. But I want to walk over some key points that apply to all of the states today. Now, there are going to be some things that I put a star next to, and as you know, whenever I do that, we want to make sure to go back and remind yourself that requirements might be a little bit different between states. And so I'm going to put a couple of examples here of just like a short list of Rhode Island and Florida's and Alabama's, right? Unique state-specific section, right? Just some bullet points here. And we can see that depending on the state, right, they do test some different things. But today we're going to mainly talk about some of the similarities between the states that will help guide your study. So for example, all of the states, they have a commissioner, and that's going to be one of the first things that we focus on today. And so just watch out, right? Whenever I put this star, just make sure to double check on your state's information, right? Like some states may require 24, C, continue education requirement, but while every 2 years, while other states may only require 21, right? Or 24 hour C requirement. So just double check depending on your state, it will most likely be a little bit different. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at our first topic here, which is the insurance department. So for all of the states, there is an insurance department, and that department is responsible for enforcing the laws, right? So the legislature makes the insurance laws, and the department enforces it. And that's important because many people think that the insurance department makes the laws, but they don't. They enforce the laws. Now, the chief of this department is called the commissioner. That would be the chief of the insurance department. So we can see some duties that relate to the commissioner. Conducting investigations, hearings, right? Appointing personnel, making rules, right, to carry out the laws, examining, right, the insurers, looking at their records, and also administering oaths and subpoena witnesses, right, if necessary, in court. And so with this here, we can see that all of these duties relate to the enforcement of insurance law. Okay, they relate to the enforcement of insurance law. Okay, so some other things that we do want to know about the commissioner is that it's elected by the public, okay, and serves a 4-year term. Now, I did put a star here because it might be different depending on your state. So make sure to double check on that. But you do want to know, how is the commissioner elected? And you do want to know how many terms and how long is each term as well. Now, insurers must notify a commissioner 30 days within change of address. So insurance companies, right, they have that office, and if they change the office, right, the location of that home office, then they need to notify the commissioner within 30 days of that change. Okay. Right. So let's take a look at some other duties. So we've talked about the examination of records, right? But we need to dive a little bit deeper for the exam. They want to also focus on, well, when we look at the examination records, what are some specific regulations that play? So for domestic insurers, they must be examined at least once every 5 years. Now, what I mean by domestic is that the home base is located in this state, right? And we'll take a look at some different insurers. We'll look at domestic insurers, foreign insurers, and alien insurers. Okay. But for now, we just want to know that for domestic insurers, these are insurance companies that have the home base incorporated in the state, right? And the laws that they follow are in the state in which they are practicing. Now, Commissioner Wright is entitled to freely access all of the information, right, related to an examination, and has the power to examine the affairs of any people, right, that may be engaged in unfair methods of competition or unfair acts. And we'll take a look at some unfair acts and the subsequent topics. But what we want to know is that, right, this could be agents, right? This could be underwriters, right? This could be the insurance company as a whole, right? That could be that subject. Okay. So the commissioner, right, can examine records for anybody or anything, right, to make sure that there's fair competition. So now, what if a hearing is needed, right? What if a hearing is needed? So if that is needed, then hearing shall be held 30 days after the demand of hearing by the commissioner, and no later than 30 days after the conclusion of a hearing, the commissioner must make an order on the hearing. Okay. So again, I'm going to put a star by it. Just double check with it because there are 50 states, and I do want to make sure that I'm not missing anything, right? That's more specific to your state. So just always double check with that. But you do want to know some of the times, right, that are involved. You do want to know that commissioner can hold a hearing, right? And the procedures that are related to that as well. And so if, right, the commissioner finds out that there is a violation, right, of insurance law, then they're able to impose penalties. And so some penalties include probation for up to a year, fines up to 1,000 for each non-willful violation, 5,000 for willful violations, and 10,000 for violating a cease and desist. And again, double check that with your state. Now, what does cease and desist order, what does that mean, right? So that means when, and then the commissioner orders an agent or insurance company to stop selling, negotiating, right, soliciting insurance contracts. And so but they still do. And so that would be violating a cease and desist order. Okay. So we can see that typically that would be the most severe because they're violating an existing order, right, in which they were told to stop.